Hey, I'm Nick Boy and welcome to Pocket for Tuesday, the 3rd of May. Today on the show, Space Duty, Windows Update strikes again, and I chat to Geralt Puppet Master. Yeah, you work those abs. Alright, here's what's been making headlines, and after days of teasing, Infinity Ward has revealed Infinite Warfare. The latest Call of Duty game takes players to Infinity Ward and beyond. Outer space. The future shooter has finally made its way above the stratosphere, showing off space dogfighting, space corridor shooting, space robo-slinging, and space paying respects. Space Warfare will launch on the 4th of November. And in more exciting COD news, Activision revealed that the remaster for Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is real. However, it's not going to be a standalone release, and the only way to get it at launch will be by purchasing Infinite Warfare's non-standard editions, which they're calling the Legacy and Legacy Pro editions. The remaster will include the full Modern Warfare campaign and 10 fan-favorite multiplayer maps. I get why they're bundling this with Infinite Warfare, but if you can grit your teeth and hold off for just 6 months, I would wager that the remaster will go standalone. Activision will take your money, one way or another. And speaking of taking things, Riot has banned popular League of Legends streamer Tyler1 from the game indefinitely. Tyler had become well known on Twitch due to his streams where he would intentionally feed, verbally abuse other players, and generally just be a horrible human being in-game. His Twitch page boasted that he had 17 accounts permabanned by Riot, and this week the company finally took more deliberate action against him. In a statement released by Riot, they said, because of a well-documented history of account bans for verbal abuse, intentional feeding, as well as account sharing and purchasing, evasion of sportsmanship systems, and player harassment, we will not allow Tyler1 to hold a League of Legends account indefinitely. Any account definitively used by him will be banned immediately upon identification. We know we're not perfect and this dragged on too long, but we want you to know when the rare player comes along who's a genuine jerk, we've still got your back. It's interesting to note that Riot took this action after a couple of pro League of Legends players came out and talked publicly about Tyler's behavior, including games they had played with him, which he had ruined. And speaking of banning people, Valve has cracked down on Team Fortress cheats. LMAO Box has been one of the most prolific cheating programs used in Team Fortress 2 and has been around for 5 years now. According to the program's description, it gave people customizable aimbot features, allowing them to always hit their targets. Valve finally made a move and updated their anti-cheat software. The result was that over 3,000 accounts were banned from the game, including 160 players involved in the Valve-promoted UGC League. Let that be a message to all you cheaters. Valve is coming for you. 5 years from now, you're in a lot of trouble. And speaking of a lot of trouble, Mighty Number 9 got another confirmed release date on some platforms. You're killing me, Inafune. After a long string of delays and failed milestones, Keiji Inafune's new platformer has finally gone gold. The game will release on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii U, and PC on the 21st of June. For those of you who have been burned too many times by Inafune's tardiness, he's stressing this new release date is set in stone and there will be no further delays for the game. Which is excellent news, unless you want to play it on a handheld device like I do. You may have noticed in the long string of platforms I listed the game is coming out on, the 3DS and Vita were painfully absent. Inafune said the game will release on these systems at a later date, which reads disturbingly like the many later dates that Inafune had previously promised. Moving on now, and ex-Criterion devs at Three Fields Entertainment have shown off the first footage of Dangerous Golf. Many dates, Inafune! The studio has uploaded a 15-minute gameplay video which could easily be mistaken for Criterion's Burnout series, if you weren't playing as a golf ball. The game will be coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC in June this year, with all the dirty fonts you're seeing on screen right now. Alright, that's it for the news today. Coming up, I will be speaking to Jamie Berry of CD Projekt Red, but first, it's Thing of the Day! Soon to be coming to Vita and 3DS! Inafune! Many dates! Thing of the Day. Counter-Strike player Flom was mid-stream when he suffered a fate worse than terrorists winning. Windows 10 decided to update. What? What? of the day. I'm joined now by Jamie Berry, who is senior animator for The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much for coming into the tiny room. So, Blood and Wine is the second major expansion for The Witcher 3?
Yeah, that's correct.
What can you tell us about it?
It's the final step in the saga of Geralt. It's going to be around 20 hours long. Lots of new creatures, lots of new quests.
20 hours? You guys just hate all other games. And how long did it take to make?
We've been working on it pretty much since the end of Hearts of Stone, which was the first expansion.
Right, okay, that's shorter than I would have imagined.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I mean, we really like to just focus on that when we're working on the expansion, so
Yeah.
we don't have multiple things going at the same time. It's normally we finish the one project and then we move on to the next one.
So, we've seen some pretty weird, nasty, disgusting new creatures. As an animator, when you get told, oh, we want some sort of centipede with 1,000,000 teeth, are you excited about that, or are you going, how are we going to make that work?
Oh, super excited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, when you're working for the animation stuff, the most kind of weird, gross creatures we can get, these are the best things for us. They're something we can be really, really creative with.
What's the weirdest and grossest thing you've worked on?
For me, it would probably be something like the Noonwraith from The Witcher 3.
Right.
She was very gross, very creepy to work on. She has all these kind of twitches, animated hair.
So, I mean, obviously animations are a huge part of the Witcher series.
Mm-hmm.
How much motion capture and stuff do you use? Do you use facial capture for this stuff?
Yeah, when it comes to the motion capture technology, it's normally just the body that will be capturing for this. So our human characters, these will all be mocaps in our mocap studio. When it comes to things like the creatures, monsters, this is something that we hand key ourselves.
So are you using reference sort of stuff for this? Are you know how there's like Foley artists who use like a watermelon and a hammer to make the sound of something Foley? Is that what you're doing?
I mean, every animator has their own kind of workflow and process for this. For me personally, I take a lot of reference from movies when I'm working on characters. So if we have a character and it's kind of similar to something that I've seen in a movie, it's something that I can take some inspiration from with this kind of thing.
Is there something in the new expansion that you've gone, oh, this is my ode to, you know, Casablanca?
There is, but I can't talk about it.
Oh, really?
It's a secret.
Oh, can you not talk about what it is, but can you talk about what the reference was?
The reference was a movie, but if I told you the movie, it would give away the secret.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, it's not very helpful.
No, not at all. It's like E.T. So it's the E.T. is in the game.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
I nailed it. The Witcher has a real particular sense of fantasy and a very sort of dark and grim tone.
Yeah.
How do you guys transfer that over to your animations? How does that inform what you do?
I'd say with the animations, when it comes to that kind of thing, the tone of the world and the fantasy world that Geralt lives in, these are really affecting the animation. So especially with things like the community, when you have people walking around, washing clothing, you know, we need for the animation to make these characters feel like they are not happy. They're not having happy lives, they're not living in nice palaces, they're kind of miserable in their everyday life.
You talked before about the favorite sort of character that you've done, but what are your favorite little animations that in the game that maybe we didn't notice, but they're just things that add to the sense of believability of the world?
Again, I'd have to come back to some of the community stuff. I mean, we have community animations, we said, of people just living their lives and trying to make the world feel like a living world with this kind of thing. But we have some kind of humour that we can add in there as well. You know, if you've got someone just sitting there hammering away on the table, you know, we have animations of them hitting their fingers and swearing, this kind of thing. It's I kind of like those touches in the game. I mean, generally the requests that we get from the designers, they would just give us the positions where they need these animations. It's really up to us how much we actually place in for this kind of thing. So when we're doing the motion capture shoots, we'll try to capture as much as possible. Like, you know, you'll grab 20, 30 clips of the same thing, and then from there we'll try to narrow it down and see which ones we kind of like, which ones we think will work well in the game, and also which ones are just going to kind of add to the personality and character of the game.
So obviously Geralt, he's known as a bit of a swashbuckler? Is that the right word that I could use? Do you swashbuckle if you're on land? Whatever he is, he's known for swinging a sword around a lot, and he's pretty energetic. But also the game is known a lot for smaller, subtle story moments. What's the difference in approach that you take between sort of combat and the more dramatic scenes?
It's a tough one for me to answer because I'm working on the in-game animation team.
So just the swashbuckling?
Just the swashbuckling parts. I mean, mainly we'll be working on Geralt, we'll be working on the monsters, the combat, the locomotion system, you know, just general moving around the world, this kind of thing. We have a cinematics team, and these are the guys who will be taking care of the cinematics. They're the ones who do the performance capture shoots for this kind of thing.
So it's a separate part of the team?
Yes, yeah.
That makes sense. So Blood and Wine, when is this one coming out?
The expansion pack is going to be out the first half of 2016.
And we will be seeing some footage of that, I think on May 10th is when the embargo lifts?
It should be the footage out then.
Can you talk about how we'll be accessing this in-game? Is this something that, is there an area that we're going to? Can you say anything?
It's kind of set up very similar to the first expansion pack. So if you've already played The Witcher, and you're part way through, you will be able to get a new quest where you can go and take part in the new expansion. However, we've also got an option where you can just start immediately into the expansion. We'll give you a pre-leveled character with abilities so you can get right in and start.
Oh, very cool. And it's confirmed to have both Blood and Wine?
Both of them? Pretty sure.
All right.
Pretty sure we have both.
That's a scoop right there. That's a red hot pocket scoop. All right, Jamie, thank you very much for coming in and joining us.
Cool, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
There you go, our very first tasty pocket scoop, and they say we're not journalists. And by they, I do of course mean me. All right, that's it for today's episode of Pocket Pocketeers. Check out Good Game on Facebook, YouTube, and iView. Want to meet fellow Pocketeers? Then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group so you can complain about release dates on the handheld devices. You can follow Good Game on Twitter at Good Game TV, follow Pocket at NickBoy, at Pierreth, at GG, at Monkey, at Sam Gee, and at many other Twitter accounts. There are links to everything I just said in the description below. Today's Thing of the Day graphic was made by Lorne Whitecross. Thank you very much, Lorne. If you've made a thing, please send it in. But while you're busy making and sending things in, check out Good Game Tonight, where you can see Budjo and Hex's reviews of Severed and Star Fox Zero.
But it's a bit hard to put into words why it doesn't work that well. If I could describe it in a feeling, it would be like a, huh.
I feel their pain. Now, tonight, Good Game is actually on at the special time of 8:45. So if you've set like old VCRs up via sort of those yellow, blue, and red cables to record at 8:30, you're gonna have to plug in that remote that you used to have to plug in so that you could press record and pause without hopping up for the TV. You're gonna have to plug that in 15 minutes later because it's at 8:45. So don't forget that. All right, until tomorrow, Nick Boy out. You know what I'm talking about. Did you have one of those remotes? You're too young. You're too young. You were born like next to a curved television.